Hi guys, it's Kelly and you're watching That Smells Divine. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 22-ish fragrances that I am super excited to wear when the weather cools down. If you're new to my channel, I live in Austin, Texas, and man oh man, it's been a hot summer. It is starting to cool down now. At the time I'm filming this, it's August 22nd, and it's finally dipped below 100 degrees. In fact, it feels like sweater weather now that it's dipping down to 90, and I cannot wait to switch out of my fresh florals and into some cooler weather scents, some gourmand, some more comforting, soothing, spicy, a little bit heavier fragrances. I'm very excited for that. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little bit different today, and I'm actually not going to talk about the notes. I am gonna put the notes up on the side as I talk about each fragrance, but I'm gonna kind of like rapid fire through these 22 fragrances and basically just tell you like why I'm excited to wear them. Okay, so the very first fragrance we're gonna talk about is called 1969, and it's by the house Histoire de Parfums. Now, I am excited about this fragrance because this fragrance does patchouli so well. Like, it's such a beautiful patchouli scent. I know not everyone's a patchouli fan, but I feel like once you smell a fragrance that does patchouli really well, you're like, oh wait, hold on, maybe I am open to patchouli. But this is just a beautiful, sexy, grounding, like, to me it's feminine, although it's a unisex fragrance, but it's just, to me this is just like woman. It's just gorgeous, it's sexy, it's beautiful, it's poetic. Like, I just love it. I love it. It smells very classic. The patchouli is done really well. I'm really excited to wear this. Moving on to number 2, we have a fragrance by one of my absolute favorite houses, which I feel like is rarely talked about on YouTube. It's by the house of Arquiste, and it's called Anima Dulcis. Now, this fragrance, oh my god, it's so good. Like I said, I'm not going to put the note, I'm not going to talk about the notes, I'm going to put them up here, but basically, if you like Mexican chocolate, if you like spicy cacao, anything, and you kind of like that sort of like semi-vintage feel, you will love this. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. This is one of my favorite things to put on at night when I'm like home. I've poured a big glass of red wine. It's cold outside. Like, it's, if I had a fire, well, I have a fireplace, but it doesn't work. If I had a working fireplace, I would totally wear this next to the fire with like a book and a big glass of Cabernet. Okay, moving on to the house of Raja Oud. Now, I've got my training wheels on with Oud. I'm getting there. This fragrance knocked my socks off. Like, I got this as part of a sample set. I put it on. I was like, oh my god. I smelled enigmatic, mysterious, dark, sexy, like just something about it, almost ethereal. Like, it's just delicious. And then I found out later that Raja does oud really well. Like, they're known for that. So I'm excited to play with a bunch of their other oud fragrances because I know they have quite a few of them. And yeah, this is just gorgeous. Now, I tested it in the smack dab in the middle of summer before I went to a winery where we did an outdoor tasting. It was probably 105 degrees out. I was sweating my ass off. And of course the fragrance it just didn't work with that environment. So I'm really excited to try this out when the weather gets cooler and I'm not sweating. Okay, moving on, we've got Maison Margiela replicas by the fireplace. I love this fragrance. I had the Dossier version first. Well, actually, Ian has it. He wears it almost daily. He's obsessed with it. We've gone through like 3 bottles of that so far. And then I got a sample of the original, and I really like that as well. So I'm big on like smoky, sweet winter by the fireplace, like cozy, glass of Cabernet. Like, that's totally my vibe in the winter. I just want to be cozy. I want to be by a fireplace. I want to smell sweet. I want to have like a book or a glass of wine or like, you know, a big cozy blanket. Like, I'm so big on that. It's like my favorite thing about winter. And this fragrance does it perfect. Okay, next we have a fragrance by the house Le Gourmande, which you can find in Urban Outfitters stores, I believe. And this is called Chai Epice. And this is a beautiful chai tea fragrance, very very sweet, very spicy, very like gourmand, milky, kind of ambery experience. And I love this one because I feel like this is light enough that you could wear it every day. This is a great like wearable, going out doing errands. Like it's not as heavy of a hitter as say like By the Fireplace or some of the other ones that I'm going to be talking about. And so yeah, and plus it's like super cheap. I think I got this for like $15 if that. So yeah, I'm really excited to start pulling this out and wearing this just on the daily. Next, we have a fragrance by the House 1969, and this is called Chinese Tobacco, and this is a beautiful tobacco fragrance, you guys. This, I feel like this is done really, really, really well. I don't hear that many people talking about the House of 1969, and yeah, I've just got a sample of it, but I'm guessing I'm going to blow through it and probably buy a full bottle after, because I'm really picky about my tobacco fragrances, and this is just done beautifully. Okay, next we've got a fragrance by the House of Nest. This is called Cocoa Woods, and this fragrance just kind of makes me think of hot chocolate. I don't know, it just smells really like chocolatey and like soothing and enveloping and very cozy. This to me is a perfect scent for like if you're gonna do like date night, movie night, or just like cuddling up on the couch. Like it's very cozy, very warm, very approachable, very easy to wear. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. I feel like this could work for any age range. And like I think this fragrance is great. Moving on, we have a new discovery by a house that I previously had almost written off, and this is the House of 4160 Tuesdays, and the fragrance is called Creamy Vanilla Crumble. Now, I recently just spoke about this fragrance on my August subscription box videos. If you want to go back and watch that to get like the full rundown of it, you can. But basically, this is like a creamy vanilla, almost smells like a coconut meringue pie fragrance with notes of tobacco and hay. So it's like it's got this beautiful depth and this grounding to what could otherwise be a very sweet kind of over the top dessert fragrance. And I cannot wait to pull this out. Like this is going to be a holiday fragrance for sure. This will be a great wear when it gets, I mean, really cold. I think the lowest, actually during snowpocalypse a couple of years ago here in Texas, the temperatures went down to like ungodly, like unsafe, you know, people died. It was a little bit traumatic here. But normally in the wintertime, the lowest it'll get is like 33, 34 degrees. And that feels really cold in Texas, right? And so I'm going to be saving this fragrance for those kind of nights where it's just freezing and I'm inside, maybe making like a chili in the slow cooker and like listening to some jazz. Like I'm really excited for that. Okay, next we have one of my all-time favorite fragrances, you guys. And if you haven't heard me talk about this yet, you might want to go down the rabbit hole of my previous videos. And I think I did a video solely on this. I believe I did, comparing it to the original Love Don't Be Shy. This is Dossier's Floriental Marshmallow. In one of those videos, I shared my scent memory and my journey with this fragrance, and it runs pretty deep, and it just always brings me good thoughts and good feelings. And so I'm so excited. You guys, you can wear Floriental Marshmallow during the summer. You totally can. For me, I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so freaking hot here. Like it's just almost too much. And so the second it dips below 90, I'm putting this bad boy back on. I love this scent so much, you guys. If you like fluffy marshmallow, orange blossom, like almost cotton candy, like you want to smell like a piece of candy, but in like a really kind of sexy, playful way, this fragrance is for you. Now, warning, I have heard some of you say that you can't smell this on yourself, which I'm like flabbergasted. I'm like, how can you not, you know, but it is what it is. Cool thing about Dossier is when you order from them, sometimes they'll give you a sample size so that you can try the fragrance first before opening the full bottle, which is really cool. But if they don't and you end up just opening the full bottle and not liking it, you can return it and exchange it for something else. They actually donate their returns to women in need. I don't know if it goes to like shelters or just like various women's programs, but your fragrance is not going to get wasted if you don't like it, and it's actually going to help someone else. So I think that's really cool. Okay, moving on to a fragrance that I don't hear anyone talking about. It's Ginger Ciao by Yosh. Now, when I worked for Well People, I actually got to meet the founder of Yosh. Her name is Yosh Han, and not only does she make fragrances, but she does like tarot and astrology stuff too, which is super cool. She's a very, I mean, I met her back in like 2015, so it's been a while, but my experience of her, she spent a day in our studio, we did an event, she did readings for us, we were around her all day, and she's a very like grounded, very spiritually attuned woman. Like there's just something really magnetic about her, and I loved hearing her talk about her different fragrances, and she's such an artist, and each fragrance really means something to her, you know? And so in the Well People studio, we carried most of her line, but the one that I just kept going back to over and over, if you've ever worked in a studio where they sell perfume, you know, like you're just all over those testers all day long, you know, like I was just constantly spraying myself. And I just, in the winter months, I just kept finding myself going back to Ginger Ciao, Ginger Ciao. Now, this is something you could wear in the spring, summer for sure, but for me, it's a very comforting fall, like late fall, early winter scent. Very spicy, very grounding, just beautiful. It's got this floral element to it as well. Again, the notes are over here. Yeah, just a beautifully done fragrance. I've never smelled anything like it. It smells very classic, almost vintage. And yeah, I just absolutely fell in love with this fragrance. Okay, next we've got Commodity Gold, which I'm not as much of a raving fan about this fragrance as some other people are, but I do really appreciate it. And I think it's a great everyday wearable vanilla scent for the winter months. So yeah, I'm really excited just to be able to pull this out, like to go to the grocery store, to go run errands, to go meet a friend for lunch, like without having to, like, this is something you can easily pull for without being like, is it going to be too heavy? Is it going to be inappropriate? Am I going to choke people out? Like, it's just super wearable, super easy. It's a crowd pleaser. Everyone's going to compliment you on how good you smell. So yeah, I'm really excited for Commodity Gold. Okay, next we have BDK's Gris Charnel. Now you guys, ever since I sampled this, I have been so obsessed that I've only sprayed it one time because I'm like, I know that I need a full bottle of this, and so I need to milk this as much as I possibly can. This fragrance smells so freaking good. And let me tell you exactly what it reminds me of. 2017, Christmas, my boyfriend and I went to Holland, to a little town outside of Amsterdam called Leiden. It's not that little, it's like a little city. And we stayed with his family. And they have this beautiful house, and it's like, I don't know if it's like this everywhere in Holland, but the house is like right up against the sidewalk. The windows are open. You're just watching people walk by. It rained the entire time we were there. I think the sun came out maybe one day. It was cold. We would sit in his living room, like wrapped up in blankets on the couch with hot tea, and we'd be like looking out, watching all the people walk by. It felt very Dutch, and it felt very cozy. It was very cold outside. We were freezing. And this fragrance reminds me of that. It reminds me of sitting on a couch, wrapped up in a super warm blanket, watching people walk by on cobblestone streets. It's drizzling outside, but you're like warm and cozy. You're with family. That's totally what this fragrance reminds me of. It's a beautiful, creamy fig sandalwood tea fragrance. It's just gorgeous. If you know, you know. Like, I know so many people are in love with it. It's beautiful. I have not smelled the extrait version yet. I'm very excited to get my nose on that. But Gris Charnel is something I'm really looking forward to getting through my sample of, and once I do, I'm definitely getting a full bottle. Okay, moving on to Ulrich Lang's Lethe. Now, this fragrance will forever remind me of my trip to Monhegan, which is a very small, somewhat deserted island off the coast of Maine. My family has a house there, which is super cool, and I went there for the first time to visit last year. And you take like a ferry to get out there. You get out there, there's like 50 full-time residents. It's a tiny little island. There's no cars, there's no roads, there was no stores really. There's like one little store where you can buy groceries. It's cool. It's really cool. And this fragrance I wore the entire time I was there. It, to me, smells like a sweater. It's literally the smell of a sweater. It's got like a slightly incensey quality to it, which it's not listed as a note, but I totally feel incense vibes when I wear this. And yeah, to me, it's just like literally the perfect fall fragrance. Like, I could not ask for a more perfect fall sweater weather fragrance than Lethe. All right, next we have a new to me discovery, and I recently talked about this in my Lucky Scent haul, so go back and watch that if you want to see my reaction to this scent. My first impressions were somewhat over the top, but I meant every word of it. This fragrance knocked my socks off. This is called Beau by Lethe. This is a very like smoky, woody, resinous, pine, foresty kind of fragrance that I am just obsessed with. I know I'm obsessed with a fragrance when I won't wear it. I won't wear it because I don't want to use it up, because I know as soon as I use it up, like, I'm going to need a full bottle right away, and I'm not going to be able to wait for it to get to my house. Like, it's that big of an obsession. I found out about this fragrance from Anna Lauren's channel. I know a lot of you guys watch her. She's incredible. And I think her and I have very similar noses, because everything, for the most part, everything that she said she's fallen in love with, I'm like, oh my God, yes. So Lethe Beau, that's all I'm going to say. Moving on, we have my first fragrance from Amouage. It's Material, and I've only worn this one time, and I loved it, but I wore it in the middle of summer, and it's not appropriate for the middle of summer, and I'm really excited to get my nose on it and wear it properly in the cooler months. Beautifully done fragrance. I mean, it's Amouage, beautiful vanilla fragrance. Okay, sorry about that interruption. We're getting storms here, and I just needed to like go run some errands real quick because it was starting to thunder and I'm gonna melt if I get wet. So let's dive right back in. Okay, so the next one is a new to me, although I've wanted to smell it forever, and I finally got my nose on it last week. It's Note Vini by M. Micallef, and I'm so excited. Like, I love like a nice boozy vanilla in the middle of winter, perhaps with a glass of whiskey by a fireplace, like just such a vibe, right? And so Note Vini, I feel like, is just 100% gonna fit that bill. Okay, the next one is Pas Ce Soir, and I recently, is it Pas Ce Soir or Pas Ce Soir? I recently just reviewed this as part of my August subscription box video, so go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. It's a beautiful, kind of tart, kind of sweet quince fragrance, if that's how you say it. I never know if it's quince or quince. Pronunciation is not my forte, obviously. And yeah, I'm just really excited because I've only wear tested it during the summer, so I'm excited to see how it does on my skin in the wintertime. Okay, next is This Is Her by Zadig and Voltaire. Y'all know this is like one of my absolute favorite loves of this year. I'm obsessed. I've been wear testing it in hot summer months, and so I'm really excited to wear test it in the cooler months and see how it changes. Yeah, to me this is like a kind of creamy, incensey, just beautiful, almost barbershop-y, just gorgeous, so cozy of a fragrance. Like, it literally smells like the color light gray. That's the best way I can think of to describe it. I'm super excited to keep playing with this fragrance. Okay, next we have one that everyone says you can wear during the summer, but I never wear it during the summer because to me it's more of a winter scent. It's Atelier's Vanilla Insensé, and this has been one of my favorites for almost actually more than 10 years now. Wow, I think I first discovered this fragrance, what year was it? It must have been like 2009, 2010. I absolutely love it. It's like a spicy vanilla. It's got a little bit of like citrusy lime in there. It's gorgeous. Again, like perfect fragrance for like cuddling up by a fire, having a glass of whiskey, although this one you can definitely like it's more versatile as far as seasons go. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful take on vanilla. We've got another vanilla fragrance. The next one is Vanilla Woods by Seven Virtues. This is a recent discovery of mine. It's beautiful. It's kind of this like vanilla woodsy, almost coconutty. It's beautiful. It's a clean fragrance. It's seductive. It's mysterious. It's sexy. It's an absolute gorgeous vanilla fragrance, and I'm very, very excited. I feel like this is going to be perfect for like the beginning of fall, like the crispy crunchiness of fall. You know what I'm talking about? When things are like starting to get cool. I think this fragrance is going to be perfect for that time. Our second to last fragrance is What About Pop by the House of Oud. This is basically like it smells like popcorn. It's a like kind of a buttery, yeah, just kind of creamy, like burnt sort of buttery popcorn smell. To me, it smells very similar to Sol de Janeiro's Charosa 62. So if you like that, you're probably gonna love this. Yeah, I'm just really excited. I feel like it's really pretty and feminine, and also just like very gourmand. And yeah, I'm really excited to put on. I have like a big white, super plush, cozy sweater, and I feel like this fragrance is gonna go absolutely perfect with that sweater and a pair of leggings. I'm really excited. Okay, and last but not least, we have more of a wintry fragrance than a fall fragrance. I feel like everything I listed, I'm definitely going to be wearing in the fall, but this is more wintry, so I might wait until like end of November, December to pull this one out. But this is by Dasein, and it's called Winter Nights, and it's a beautiful, smoky pine, gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. Like literally smells like a crackling fire in the middle of the woods, in the middle of like a pine forest. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I actually won this bottle from Sebastian's giveaway that he did, and I won it like in the middle of summer, and I was like trying to wear it. I guess it was like springtime actually. I was trying to wear it out and about here in Austin, and it's like not appropriate. Like usually I'll be like, you know what, wear whatever you want whenever you want. But this is like the ultimate Christmas/winter fragrance. I wouldn't suggest wearing it when it's 95 degrees out. I just wouldn't. So I'm really excited. I've been like waiting for this. Like it's just such a gorgeous, sweet, smoky, piney, beautiful scent. Very rich, very luxurious smelling, very playful. It's just beautiful. I love it. I love it. So that is my list of fragrances. I did it as rapid fire as I possibly could. I cannot wait, you guys. Like, I get kind of sad about summer ending, to be honest, because like I said, I'm more of a warm weather person personally. I grew up in Massachusetts, where the winters were winters, and I am good with that. I'm done. So I really enjoy the heat of Texas, and I enjoy not being able to wear pants for 4 months straight. But the downside to that is I absolutely love cool weather fragrances. I love gourmands. I love smoky tobacco, vanilla, spicy fragrances. And you just can't really wear those around here in the summertime. So that is the silver lining to the winter for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. Leave a comment down below. Do you love any of these? Do you have any that you are particularly looking forward to wearing in the cooler months? I would love to hear what you guys are super excited about. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. And stay tuned for the next video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Let me know where you're watching from. I feel like this video is going to have lots of bloopers. So before we dive into today's video, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Please give this comment a like. Please give this video a like and say hey in the comments. Let me know where you're calling in from. So note vini, blah, and smells like it would taste like food. Smells like it would taste like food. What?